exciting episode of the podcast in which I completely forgot which number this is again. I was good for like 3 episodes, and then we didn't record for it's been almost a month. I think it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute, and I don't know. We'll just say this is episode 86 of the Retrotainment podcast.
19.
It's Mari says it's 19. I'm going to stick with 86 because I'm the host, and she's a woman. That's the way the world works. This episode is brought to you by
Divorce.
Who should? Oh yeah, this episode's sponsored by divorce. 9 out of 10 Americans go through this regardless. So, anyway, how you doing, Zach? It's been a hot minute.
I'm doing all right. I am now ungainfully unemployed, so...
Yeah, I want to talk about this because I asked you in the chat and you didn't respond, and I'm very curious about this. But before we get to that, I'd also like to mention, as you heard, that Mari is in the background, probably playing Animal Crossing. But regardless, so what's up with this, man? What happened?
I quit.
Cool. Great
Yep.
story. So that's the end of episode 86 of the Retrotainment podcast, brought to you by divorce and unemployment.
Yeah.
Unemployment, also another thing that 9 out of 10 Americans are dealing with right now. So...
Nah, I fucking just got sick of it. There's no other... like I told you how I've been in a... Alright, so... I know I've told you, the store closed, and I got stuck in one of the plants, which was really, dirty and falling apart. Well, for the past...
And they wanted nothing to do with, dealing with COVID or any of that shit.
Pretty much. I don't know if we've recorded since moving... So, they shut that plant down, and everyone got moved to the plant 1. So, plant 1...
The last time we recorded, I vaguely remember you mentioning something about a possible move.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't know anything about this, so regale us.
So Plant 1 is where a good chunk of manufacturing operations are.
Yes.
The giant ass rug laundry is there, the twisting machines, the giant rolling machines, the sewing, good chunk of the manufacturing is there at that plant, as far as I know. So the problem with there as opposed to Plant 4. So Plant 4 was one supervisor, and we could
What happened to Plant 2 and 3?
3 I've been to once, and I've never been to 2.
Okay, so anyway, Plant 4.
Plant 4 was it sucked, but there was one boss, and he relatively is if you work, then you kind of do what you want. He wasn't a hard ass. But Plant 1 has multiple supervisors and everything, and you are being watched from every direction. And I ended up getting written up because I was bringing my coffee in the morning, in a travel mug.
Yes.
And apparently people were complaining to their supervisors, so their supervisors complained to my supervisor, and he's like, look, I gotta write you up because all these people have complained about you. You need to just watch what you do here because you're always being watched.
Wait a minute.
So
hold on. Time out.
Oh, what does it sound like? Bullshit, Josh? Maybe because it is.
I have 2 questions.
Uh-huh.
2 questions. This episode of the Retrotainment podcast is brought to you by questions and bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So first question is, what were people complaining about the coffee?
Because you're supposed to only have clear bottled water.
Okay. Whatever. Second question, why did it go straight to write-up territory and not, don't bring that in?
I don't know. Maybe you got enough. There was other things too. I'll take out my phone to check the time. People bitched about that, and I don't know.
Fucking hell.
It was just a bunch of shit it was a bunch of shit that built up, and then he wrote me up for it. And it was...
I mean, it honestly seemed like everything involving this company was slowly building up to you leaving anyway. So I'm not really surprised. But I mean, so without putting too much of your business out there, I've known you for a long time. I've seen you go through a handful of employment situations. Some of them better than others in terms of how they ended. Where would you put this one? How are you feeling overall?
In what way? Would I ever go back?
No. Like, okay. Is this like a positive ending? Like, are you happy to be done with this?
Oh,
or
I'm
is
happy
this
to
like
not work for them anymore. Because
okay.
Because apparently it's going to be like August before the store, like the rug store part where I fucking got hired to work for in the first place, is ever even going to be opened again. It's like August is what people were saying, or what like
there's some shit going down with the library that I'll talk about, and August seems to be the date for a lot of things. But yeah, I'm glad you got out of there.
Nah,
like,
yeah,
I know I say that. I know I say that every time a job ends for you, but let's just go over the ones I can recall from memory. Walmart, I don't really have to say anything about that. Walmart's terrible. GameStop, I don't really have to say anything about GameStop. I've warned everyone and their brother about GameStop, and they learn about it one way or another.
Yep.
The coffee store, which was run by a douchebag lawyer who shouldn't have an ability to practice law anywhere, and that includes playing Phoenix Wright. This man is... Like, the best way to describe this lawyer is like if you watch a movie from the 80s that involves a really shady lawyer that's trying to launder your money from like a Miami cartel, and they find him dead halfway through the movie with like a needle in his arm and just shot up from machine gun bullets. That's how that guy's going to go out. Except he's going to shoot himself.
Oddly enough, I really liked that coffee barista job. That was like the first job I actually liked, and I even like took the management position and everything to because I was like, oh yeah, you know what? Fucking, I'll take management for this place. I like this job. Nope. And then 2 days later, dead. Fuck me.
That job, that was the case of a good job run by an absolutely terrible, terrible person.
Yeah.
And then the carpet one, like, oh man,
yeah, it fucking sucks.
Well, fingers crossed, man. I hope something pops up. Like,
it'd be nice. I'd like to have a job that I actually learned something and do something new. That'd be cool, but
keep an eye on USA Jobs, which is the federal government site. They're hiring a ton of jobs for like COVID stuff, like because a lot of people quit, so they're filling positions, and they're also. I mean, obviously, I know nobody really wants to go into a job directly dealing with Corona response right now, but they're hiring a lot for that stuff, and I don't know, but yeah, dude, shit's been interesting with the library. Like, I've been, for anybody that doesn't know, I've been teleworking basically for the past almost 3 months at this point. And
what does that entail, Josh? Teleworking.
I work 2 hours a day and get paid for working 8 hours a day. It's been fucking awesome.
Awesome.
Like, I work 1 full day, 8 hours a month, and get paid for the whole month, basically. Or I'm sorry, nice. A week. And that, like, the library fucking stepped their shit up. I can complain about Baltimore. I can complain about some of our patrons, but I will rarely, if ever, complain about, like, the way management handles, like, crisis shit with the library. When the riots happened, like, they were on point with that stuff. And with this, like, their response has just been top-notch. I talked about it a little bit before, but if you were full-time, you were authorized for what's called permission leave, which is basically the city's way of saying, don't come into work, you're getting paid for it. Normally, that only happens if there's power outages or, like, snow issues. We get that. And it has to be approved by the union, and it comes out of the city's money. Well, in this case, everybody got approved for permission leave, and instead of it being for like a day or two, it's been for months. So, like, as you can imagine, the city's finances have just been completely decimated because of this. But they've also been paying part-timers this whole time. So, like, in other jobs where part-timers were getting screwed, everyone's been getting their normal pay. And the only things that we've been told so far is that the unions have agreed that obviously, for like layoffs are the last thing on the book, and it doesn't look like it's going to get that bad, but we may have furloughs down the line where like the way they described it was you'll have like 10 days in a year, and you have to take those 10 days and whatever you want, you take them off, you don't get paid for it. But by making everybody do that, it makes it so nobody has to get laid off. And I'm like, I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, you give me 10 days I can take off. Guess who's not coming in the day after every holiday? This guy right here. but we were originally gonna reopen, and I'm air quoting that over the mic because people can see that shit, on June 1st. And last week we got an update saying that that's probably not going to happen because what's happening in Maryland is that the counties, there's a huge discrepancy in the spike in corona cases in some of the counties compared to the major cities, which is weird. Like, it's almost flipped. Normally cities have a higher case rate than the counties, but in Maryland, the counties are having a higher case rate than the cities. And they're speculating that a lot of that has to do with the counties in Maryland where they're seeing more cases are heavily Republican, and they're just not following the advice.
Shocking.
So it's weird. Like Baltimore, which is a pretty blue city for the most part, it's Democrat. Like, I think it's 4th in the entire state in terms of reported cases, which includes homeless people, which is fucking crazy. So we were going to go back June 1st, and then the mayor of Baltimore was like, we're coordinating with Baltimore County, Montgomery County, and Anne Arundel, which are the largest library systems in the state, to determine when we're going to reopen. Montgomery County has the most reported cases in the entire state, and it's one of the highest infection rates on the eastern seaboard. So they're not reopening until possibly July. And what we're going to be looking at doing, they said we may go back toward the middle to end of June. I'll know more probably at the end of this week, but we're not going to be open to the public until probably August or September. We're doing curbside service where you put books on hold. You show up, you have to have a mask and gloves. The CEO and the head of our department was like, we're not taking shit from anybody. If you show up without this gear, you're not getting anywhere near the door. Like, they said that they may have cops on site to like enforce this stuff.
Good.
And they're also going to be providing it to like homeless patrons that can't get this stuff. So they'll have like masks and gloves for them to use. So we're going to be doing curbside service. Our digital services have shot up like 8,000% in the past 2 months. So we're sinking a lot of our money into that. And it's just been really interesting seeing the plan for all of this and how everyone was on board. A lot of people are worried that Heidi, who's our new CEO, she took over after Dr. Hayden went to run the Library of Congress. They were worried that she was going to try and like make a name for herself and try and open us up quicker to get people in the door. And it's been the complete opposite. She's just like, yeah, we might not have people until October. Who knows what's going to happen? But people will get books, whatever. So,
well, at least your area has a fucking brain cell.
Well, to some extent, my area is still Northern Virginia, and these assholes around here have no idea what the hell a mask is. I swear to God. Like,
fucking.
You cross that Mason-Dixon line into the South, man, and it's like freedoms.
I know.
Like, I'm going to do it tonight. I need to make a meme of the butterfly gif and just put like a Confederate flag in the background and replace the butterfly with a mask and be like, is this freedom?
Fucking, yeah, that's accurate.
Misty sent me a picture of her business center, like their layout for it, their desk, where they've got like desks and chairs supporting it, like facing outward. And I was like, dude, that looks like somebody setting up a zombie apocalypse barricade.
You're not the only one who has said that. Yeah. Yeah, they've been doing curbside service for like the last couple weeks. And
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But
telling you, I need you guys to move up here, not only so I have people to talk with, but jobs, not the South.
Yeah.
Well, still the South. Here we go.
Yeah. No,
I got you on audio.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Proven.
So, anyway, that's our update on jobs and Corona. That's exciting. Yeah. So, what you been playing?
I mean, other than some Animal Crossing, I've been playing a lot more Dungeons and Dragons lately.
I have my one game going, and it's been really fun. I'm playing Divine Soul Azamar Sorcerer in this one.
Oh, I want to play a Sorcerer. I haven't played a Sorcerer yet.
Oh, dude, this shit's been so much fun. So you have this thing called meta magic,
Mm-hmm.
where you get to pick 2 of like 4 or maybe 5 abilities, and you have what are called, you have your spell slots, but then you have sorcery points, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'll give you an example. The way it works is you use sorcery points to activate meta magic when you're casting a spell, and it sort of adds an ability to it. My favorite one is called Twinned Spell, where you cast a spell, then you activate Twin Spell, and you use a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level, and you duplicate that spell, and you cast it on another target.
2 fireballs.
It has to be capable of targeting multiple things. So, like...
AoE, fireballs AoE doesn't count as targeting multiple?
I'm trying to remember the specific rules for Twin Spell, because it's like... fuck. No, I think Fireball does count, but... Yeah, like, Twin Spell's fucking great. What I've been doing a lot is Twin Spell Haste and casting it on both of our tanks. So, like, just Sonic the... So, you're gonna love this. The last session we had on Thursday, we were doing this boss fight with this dude who could go invisible every turn. He was just wrecking us. Dude had, like, a crossbow gun that could fire, like, concussion bolts. It was raining, so we couldn't see anything. So I twin-spelled Haste, and our tanks literally ran around every square in the map to find him, because we couldn't get him until they ran into him, and then we would just launch shit at that square. So, but yeah, like, another one is Subtle Spell, which lets you cast any spell without using, like, verbal components.
That is
so
useful.
So I can cast Fireball by looking at something.
With
like,
mind bullets.
Yeah, Sorcerer is a ton of fun, but it sucks starting off. Like, once you hit level 5 is when it really starts to get into itself.
Yeah.
But I've been learning a lot of the rules with this, and I really want to get into more games now. It's been a ton of fun.
Sorcerer is definitely like the next caster I want to play. I don't know what kind of sorcerer yet. Maybe Storm. I only just looked at it today, but right now I've got my Sunday campaign, which we just started new characters a week or 2 ago, and I'm playing a tiefling fighter gunslinger.
Nice.
And I'm probably gonna do just a little two dip of rogue. You know, two dips never hurt nobody. Which has been the running joke. Because I wanted to be more of a run and gun type gunslinger. So that's Sunday. On our Thursday campaign, I'm a rogue again. It's like the second time I've played a rogue. Yeah.
I thought aren't you DMing one?
I am. Yeah. The rogue is a thief subclass.
Yep.
And I have actually started DMing, and I'm doing the Ghosts of Saltmarsh module.
I think Caleb was going to do that campaign right before he stopped DMing, because I think it was a little much for him. I think he was DMing like 2 games a week and then playing in 2 of them. So it just got to be a lot to handle. But yeah, I really wanted to do Saltmarsh. That seemed like a really fun one.
It's been pretty cool. Lots of fucking politics in it, which I've mostly ignored.
Did you look at the link I sent you for the D&D update on I think it was, I don't remember what the other classes were, but the one was the Phantom for the rogue.
Yeah, they replaced the Undying or whatever rogue and replaced it with Phantom. I did look at that one.
Phantom looks so cool. Like, I want to run one of those so bad.
Yeah, you just have ghost rogue with a ghost friend.
Yeah, I'm really liking it. I've got the one Thursday campaign, and I'm either going to try and work my way into another, or I might try and start one, but I'd have to figure out, like, who would be able to play it and when I'd be able to run it for when I go back to work. But yeah, dude, D&D is good shit. I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Now, we use D&D Beyond, and Macon has bought every book on D&D Beyond, and has the master tier subscription that lets him share all of the books with all of his friends. So the Macon's kind heart has basically allowed quite a...
Let's just go look at what this master tier costs.
I think he got a lot of them.
$6 a month? That's not bad.
Yeah, $6 a month for the master tier, and I think it lets you share a certain number of campaigns and like share books with however many people, probably like 20 people. You're right there. You'd be able to tell me before I'd be able to remember, but
it says Master Tier, $6 a month, intended primarily for DMs and player groups. This tier grants all benefits of the Hero Tier. It allows you to share all your unlocked official content with other players within your campaign, so content does not have to be unlocked individually.
Yeah, that's what it is. So that's been really cool. I don't know.
We use Roll20. Like, that's what we play on. I've never used D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond does a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to character creation. Like, let me just tell you that.
No, Roll20 is pretty good at that stuff too.
I'm probably going to start using Roll20 for its map maker, just so I'm probably not going to.
It's so much fun.
I'm probably just to make basic maps and have like the ability to move tokens and everything. Mostly we do Theater of the Mind. For like battles and whatnot, but sometimes it's helpful to have a map and tokens, and I'm probably going to use that so I can like move a token, do a screen cap, post it in Discord, and stuff like that. But generally we do Theater of the Mind, unless there's like a map available already.
Honestly, just have them sign up for Roll20. Like, you could just put them on the map. They can watch everything live.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that works great for us. Like, I don't own anything on Roll20, and all the campaigns I've played, I've been able to see everything, do everything. It works great. And a lot of it's Theater of the Mind, too. So,
yeah, it's
trying to figure out, like, how much this shit costs on D&D Beyond.
What, all the books and everything?
I don't see prices for anything on this. Like, I see, Marketplace.
There is, like, a thing called the Ultimate Collection or something like that has all the books available.
The Legendary Bundle?
That may be what it is, yeah.
$663.
Yeah. I think he got a lot of it on sale, but yeah, he's easily spent at least $400 to $500 on all that, but he fucking gets use out of it, so fucking
yeah, man. Dude, honestly, I've come to the realization that like the first realization I came to is that I really wish I had been playing D&D when I was younger, but I just didn't know the people to do it. But this is definitely like my kind of scene.
Yeah.
And I really want to try and DM something.
It's a lot of fun.
My problem is
just
like
Yeah.
I'm great at story crafting and world building. It's the rules I don't know a lot about.
So it is helpful if you have other people who like are just have been playing for a while who know the rules, and they can be like the players who are like more knowledgeable about it are a great resource. Let me just tell you that right there.
Maybe when you guys end one of your campaigns, I might see if I can convince you to do one that I set up, just so I can try and craft something. Sure. And I'll just have people tell me if I'm fucking wrong.
Now, there is some good resources. You may already know about this, but do you know about the Trove?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That thing is
actually, I think I learned about that in our last session, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, the Trove is great if there's any, because not everything is on D&D Beyond either. So, but yeah, the Trove is
weird.
The Trove is great. Kobold Fight Club, I think, is how you can actually set up encounters for your just kind of keep track of all the monsters' hit points and everything. Huh. I think it's called that. Let me double check that for you. But yeah, there's some great resources. Let's see, 5e Tools is another good one.
Yeah, we use 5e Tools.
Yeah, Kobold Fight Club.
Huh. I'll have to go look at that.
And I can go ahead and stick that link for you real quick in general too, just because I will forget later. You know I will. We all know it. But yeah, that's a way you can keep track of everybody, like the initiative, everybody's HP and everything. D&D Beyond also has like something like that built in, which is what I use. But if you don't have it, Kobold Fight Club. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't using maps at all in your campaign. It's all just imagining everything.
If you're using something like a module, the maps are already there. You can just you just paste the maps into Discord. Now, if it's something that you've like made yourself, usually it just depends. Do you know what paint.net is?
Yeah.
So Macon uses paint.net to do his maps and everything. Just if you just need something simple for people to see like where the walls are, where your carriage is on the battlefield kind of thing.
How strict are you like in terms of enforcing movement speed and all that stuff?
I'm not really strict. Like, people I play with are pretty good about like they don't try to cheat the system so much. I mean, now we do have one guy who he won't cheat the system. He'll do things legally, but he will try to get some advantage. Like, he will metagame or what's the min-max a little bit. But no, for the most part, everyone is pretty good on the honor system and everything. So, but yeah, movement speed, I guess it's just if someone's like, hey, how far are they? I usually just kind of like do a quick estimation in my head kind of thing. And they're like, okay, I can make that, or no, I can't, you know? Like, I'm by far like by no means am I an expert at it, but.
Well, fun times with D&D. Mm-hmm. Have you played any other like video gamey type stuff?
I finished Grandia 2 not too long ago. I've been like,
we've all finished Grandia 2 at some point.
Yeah, this is my second time. I chipped away at that and finally beat it. Fucking, I know I mentioned River City Girls. I finished that. I may have mentioned that last time, but I did. The new thing that I've played through is Streets of Rage 4.
I thought about picking that up, just because it's Streets of Rage. And
fucking great.
I figured, why not? I did see that Limited Run Games is doing a pre-order soon for a 3-disc collection vinyl of the soundtrack.
I kind of wanted to get that, but now I'm just like, I don't know if I should be getting any vinyls right now.
I love Yuzo Koshiro so much. That man can do no wrong in terms of soundtracks. But yeah, I'm thinking about picking up Streets of Rage 4. Also thinking about picking up, what's it called? Maneater, the open world shark game that just came out. Have you seen this?
No.
So you play a shark. That's the story.
Cool.
You eat people. And it's like, some people are like, it's like Echo the Dolphin, but you murder humans and it's open world and you have quests to eat people. And the only thing keeping me from it is when I watched the trailer, I was like, if this game's like $30, I'd probably pick it up. It seems fun enough for that. But it's $40, and that $10 jump for some reason is like
Maneater
keeping me from it. So I might wait till it's on sale. I might grab it. I don't know. Honestly, I've still been playing Modern Warfare. Like, that, they've just done this game right. It's really fun. Like, their big team battle mode is called Ground War, and they added this mode called Infected Ground War, where like 5 players start off with a knife and a throwing knife and like double movement speed, and if you kill a survivor, they become infected, kind of like the old Halo one. Mm-hmm. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, except it's on huge maps. And the zombies can parachute in once the game gets close to ending. So if you're a survivor toward the end, you just have like dozens of zombies parachuting in on the map, and like you still get kill streaks. So it's pretty fun. But I've definitely got my monies out of this Modern Warfare.
Good.
And I hope they do it right with the next one, because it definitely set itself up for a sequel. So we'll see what happens. But I did pick up a game on the Switch called Risk of Rain. It was like $5. It's
heard that name.
It's a roguelike semi-Metroidvania that I think you would absolutely love. Like, every game realistically lasts about 20 to 30 minutes if you beat it, and you unlock different characters and artifacts for doing certain things. Every character has a completely different like style to go through, but it's like super pixelated. The first one is. They came out with a Risk of Rain 2, and I've never seen a company do something so completely different with a sequel. Like, Risk of Rain 2 is a fully 3D, like, third-person perspective Metroidvania roguelike. And I've read good things about it, but I'm still dealing with the first one. So, I highly recommend you pick that up. I think you would dig it, since it's something really you can pick up and play for 15 minutes, or if you want to grind out it, like get a character up like level 20 or something in one run, like maybe 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty fun.
Cool.
I really like it. What else have I been playing? It's really about it. I like Animal Crossing on and off.
Let's see. Oh, I started playing it today. Final Fantasy VIII, the remaster that they put up on Switch like a few months ago. Started playing it.
That has like the cheats in it.
Hell
right?
yes, it does. Whoo! Yep. Thank goodness. That's how I got through Final Fantasy IX.
I love Final Fantasy VIII. It is.
I've always had that one has always interested me for some reason. Like I always thought that one. I always found that one more interesting. Like from looking at it from the outside of the fandom than 7. Like it
is a game that's always had to live in 7's shadow, which is the sad thing. Like
I'm enjoying what little I've played of it. I think we just
it's intense.
I don't remember. Where it's right after the seed exam.
Okay.
Where you get chased by the giant spider robot.
Have you fought the T-Rex yet?
No, I don't think. No. I just got back to the academy.
You're going too soon because you fight the T-Rex within like the first, I think, 2 hours of the game. But
oh well, what in the thing that gives you the summon?
No, I think you fight a T-Rex in Balam Garden. I thought it was really weird because it's like you're in this skull and there's just a fucking T-Rex.
Huh? I haven't seen it unless it's in the training ground. It might be. I haven't like gone through that yet.
I think you're gonna like 8. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. It, like I said, it's a game that unfortunately had to live in 7's shadow, but it definitely stands on its own. I really need to play through 9 at some point. I've never even touched that game.
9 is really good. I guess it seemed like it was more, as far as tone to classic, more like the older Final Fantasies. I guess if that makes sense, more fantasy and a little less technological shit with robots and such. But
oh hey, did we talk at all about me beating the 7 remake last time? I don't remember.
I don't remember. But you can talk about it now. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have thoughts. I've definitely heard some of the twists and turns of that game. So
yeah, I definitely would like to talk about it. We can. I have like a couple other gaming news snippet things, but those are quick. We can go over that later. So I mean, yeah, obviously the biggest thing I've beaten this year was the 7 remake, and it was an interesting experience. I will give it that. I liked it overall. I thought it was.
Listen to this man struggle with his thoughts.
My biggest problem with the game is that it didn't feel like an RPG to me. Like the first 7, the original, was a classic fucking turn-based role-playing game. And this one very much felt like a story I was being guided through that had choose your own adventure chapters where I could fight stuff every once in a while. And it was fun. I love the combat. The combat's very satisfying in the game.
That seems to be like the thing most people have positive to say about it, is that the combat is a lot of fun. It's more entertaining and intuitive than 15's combat, where all you really had to do was just hold down X.
Yeah, I will definitely say that there's serious strategy. Well, no, I take that back. It's not serious. There is strategy involved in it, though. I went through the entire game without my party dying once. I had a couple people drop during certain fights, but I brought them back up. And it wasn't really until the end of the game, the last boss fight, and maybe the one right before that, because the end of the game, for some reason, decides to throw you into what is essentially, it feels like 4 or 5 boss fights back to back. And it wasn't really until like the last 2 boss fights where things started getting a little hectic and you had to plan things a little bit more. On hard mode in this game, some of those fights I cannot fathom doing. Like, maybe it's just because I'm not young and I'm not like looking at every little strategy involved with something and I just want to play it at this point. But like the fact that on hard mode you can't use items at all in the game, the only way to heal yourself is to use benches and magic outside of combat, which makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It just seems arbitrary. But back to the game itself. I love the combat. And you know what? I'll go out on a limb. This is going to seriously go out on a limb compared to what I've seen other people say with this. I like the story. I thought it was a very... I'll take a page out of Apple's playbook. It took courage. It took balls. Like, it took serious balls on Square's part to release this game and not expect people to be pissed off. I mean, I think they knew people were going to be, because let's just get into it.
It's there's some time Sephiroth is fucking trying to... from what I understand, is Sephiroth trying to delete the old Final Fantasy VII timeline, like Advent Children style. Like, I've heard there's some Advent Children references, like the Black Feather or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if he's trying to delete it. I think in a way Sephiroth is trying to push him toward it. Like, that's what I was getting out of this. But it's... The biggest issue with the story is that you don't get most of it until, like, the very end of the game. And that's because this is part one of something. And I, on one hand, understand that. We all knew that this was part one of what I'm convinced is going to be a 3-part remake. But there's so much that they have to go into that I'm really curious how this is all going to get tied up, and how we're going to see other character introductions, like how they're going to possibly introduce Vincent. Wu Tai, which is the city Yuffie comes from, plays a much, much larger role in this game than they ever did in the first one. In the first one, you got like little bits of backstory, and then you would go to Wu Tai, and Yuffie would be there, and she would steal your shit, and it was really annoying. But in this, like, they're setting Wu Tai up as like a serious, like, almost Russia-level antagonist to, Midgar, even though, Midgar is not really what I would call a protagonist. Like, there's a lot of time travel, like, not necessarily time travel, but, like, alternate timeline references in this. Mm-hmm. And there's just a lot of unanswered questions. I definitely understand why people could be frustrated with this and not like it, but I think it's pretty fascinating for a company to take what is arguably its most widely known title and one of the most well-respected video games in history and come up with something like this for it. It's different. Like, I would have enjoyed a remake that gave me all the assets and the original gameplay and the original story, and that would have been fun. I would have liked that. But I almost like this more in a way. It's something different, and it doesn't erase the first one. We still have the original 7 if we want to play it. But now you're opening up alternate timelines. Like, who knows? Maybe Aerith won't die in this one. Maybe Tifa will. Like, ooh, there's a lot left open.
You're going to careful. You're going to give Baker a fucking aneurysm if you say Tifa's going to die. Like,
I've already briefly discussed this with Baker, and
he ain't happy.
Let's leave it at this. Like, what's the quote? Was it Thomas Jefferson? While I may not agree with what you say, I'll defend to the death your right to say it. Like, I definitely understand where Baker is coming from, because there is that little voice in me that's like, how could you do this to 7? Blah, blah, blah. But it's overshadowed by a much larger voice that's like, oh shit, like, what new stuff are we going to see in this?
Hey, man.
How are they going to change things? And, like, dude, I really want you to watch a playthrough of it just to see the end of it, because I'm going to tell you this, and I'm not going to say anything else about it after this. I want you to just go watch it. Sephiroth and Cloud fight on the moon.
Yes, that sounds fucking rad.
Like, dude, the final boss fights in this are so fucking fun, because the biggest I know I said I wasn't going to say anything, but fuck it. I haven't been able to really talk about this with anyone.
Yeah, go for it. Like, Mari. I don't care if you fucking spoil it. I'll play it maybe eventually if I can get it for like $20 or $30.
So one of the final boss fights in this, you fight Genova, and she's like fucking wicked looking in this. It's really cool. But then I don't even know what to call it. Like, what would you call that boss that had like the 3 incarnations you had to beat? It's like you're fighting reality, basically. So, okay. how much of the original 7 did you play?
I got would you say her name was? Yuffie?
Yuffie, whatever.
I got to her, like, isn't her town like kind of like a
that's Wu-Tai.
Wu-Tai's kind of like a like a red stone canyon kind of place?
It's no, that's Cosmo Canyon.
Okay.
That's
where
Red 13's village.
Is that where you first meet her? Cosmo Canyon?
No, you meet her in Wu-Tai.
I know I got as far as her, but well,
that's fine. You got to the part I'm about to reference.
Okay,
you leave.
But I think I had saved and quit right there, is like at whatever town you meet her at, Wu-Tai.
So when you leave Midgar and like it's you drive the bike, up the bridge, and it's you guys all looking out like over the world or whatever. And you leave Midgar, like, that is where this game ends, basically.
Yeah, that was pretty well established that it was...
Yeah, so the game ends with... It doesn't end, it begins to end. This game has a lot of times where you think it's going to end, and then it just keeps going. But you do the motorcycle chase scene, you get to the end of the bridge, and then you see, like, the Black Feather, and you see Sephiroth, like, basically Superman his way down, like, just... floats down and Cloud goes up, and then he starts going into his whole spiel about, like, Cloud, I need you to do this and all this other shit. And then the whole crew is like, a rift opens up and everyone's just like, if we go through there's no coming back to this. We're gonna have to take care of everything. And you go through the rift and you wind up in alternate Midgar, who knows, where you fight reality. It is a giant fucking monster that is over top of Midgar. It splits itself into these 3 things you have to fight in tandem with different combinations of your party before you can, quote, down reality. And then you fight Sephiroth, and once you get ready to beat Sephiroth, he teleports Cloud to the moon, and there's this whole, like, spiel between the two of them, and he starts counting down, and then Cloud goes back, and then they show Zack surrounded by a bunch of dead bodies, and it's a lot. There's a lot to take in with this fucking game. And by the end of it, I was more excited to see what was next than I was like, what the fuck did they just do?
Hey man, like, good for you. I'm glad to hear that, because I have heard almost universally bitching and when Tifa's titties aren't big enough, when they change, when my childhood, like, I am so happy to hear somebody fucking say that they liked it, because I'm like it couldn't be as bad as all that.
Also, some of the best voice acting, casting I have ever heard. Like, period. And they're people I've never seen in anything else. Like, Tifa and Aerith especially were flawless. Like, perfect casting.
I've heard that the VA work is great.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
So childhood not ruined, huh?
No,
good.
Childhood definitely not ruined.
Great.
I feel like this exists alongside of it for me, and I'm very curious to see where it's going to wind up at the end of the day. So, I'm sorry that Baker didn't like it, but
a lot of people didn't. But yeah, a lot of people have been very vocal. I had heard that they really tried to inject some little bit of waifu ness into it, like, who is Cloud going to choose? Tifa, Aerith, Jesse? Not Jesse?
It's definitely not Jesse, because Jesse fucking dies.
Yeah. And as soon as I said Jesse, I'm like, oh wait, no, or she dies. Like, who will Cloud choose?
Jesse, also known as the thirstiest woman in video game history. That woman wanted to ride the Buster Sword so fucking bad. Oh my god, like, yeah. It's good times. I definitely recommend playing it. I wish you would play through the original, but to each their own.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed. That game makes me so angry. It just makes me so angry. And it sucks because I want to get the story, because the story sounds really interesting and like something I'd really enjoy, but playing the game makes me just hate everything.
Well, play the remake if it drops enough. I think you'd dig it.
Yeah, like, it dropped down to a 20 or a 30. I'd probably pick it up for that, but
So moving on from Final Fantasy, couple other gaming things I just want to touch on before we move on. The big one. Did you ever play Tony Hawk as a kid?
Yeah, dude. I played the first one a lot, and I played the second one even more.
Did you see the trailer for the remake?
I did.
They're doing a remaster of 1 and 2?
Yep. Presumably combining it.
All over that shit when it comes out. Like, I am super excited.
I wonder if all the skaters, when you go to their bio, they will have their current age or their at the time of the original game's release age. Because aren't all these dudes in their 40s?
40s and 50s, some of them.
Like, now I remember Tony was.
Can we get updated character models so it's like them taking some like like some vitamins before they gotta go skate?
Fuck it. I think I remember Tony Hawk being the oldest one in the bio, or one of the oldest ones, and I think it was either 1 or 2. Like, I was just looking at all their ages and like, oh, Tony Hawk is the oldest dude here. So
my favorite was Rune Glifberg. Always will be.
Yeah,
that Christ Airman.
Man, those games were so great. Beyond those games, I knew jack shit about skating. I fucking knew as soon as if I ever got on one, I'd break my ass bone. But God, those games were great.
I played the shit out of 1 and 2, and then Tony Hawk Underground 1 and 2 I played the hell out of. I love the Thug games. Those were fun.
I think for the most part, the soundtrack is back in its full...
Yeah, except for 5 songs.
5 songs, yeah.
Yeah. But Power Man 5000 is still there, and that was... I listened to that a lot on it, but... Yeah, dude, that's going to be a day one purchase for me. I'm super excited for that shit.
Well, you don't want to do that limited demo, or no pre-order demo, right? Wasn't that what it was? You had to pre-order the.
Oh, I'm going to
pre-order the game to play the demo, which is
you get access to the warehouse early, and I'm like, if it's not a timed demo and I can just keep playing the warehouse, then
hey man,
I'll probably play that more than any other game coming out this summer.
Those Pizza Hut demo discs, or whichever one that had the warehouse playing Goldfinger's Superman over. How many times did you play that demo? I played it fucking countless times.
Dude, those PSN demo, not PSN. Those like PlayStation demo discs they used to send out, the PlayStation Underground, that was it.
Yeah. PlayStation Underground and the Pizza Hut ones. They were the best.
Dude, there was one game on one of those discs. I never learned what it was called. It was a Japanese game, but it had like, it was almost like Beyblade. You had like battle tops you could play. I played the fuck out of that demo, and I never learned what the hell that game was called.
Dude, one of them had some kind of tank game. As best I could play. And the only thing I can remember is that there were tanks, and then there was a hover tank that had really shitty armor. And I played that a lot, and I cannot for the life of me remember what that game was called.
I should go see if somebody's uploaded all the PlayStation Underground demo discs and just go through them and find that one fucking game. But yeah, dude, Tony Hawk fucking 1 and 2, I'm super amped for that. The last two things I'm going to talk about with gaming are all rumors. I don't know how much you really care about Halo at this point. I didn't play I don't think I played the last one that came out.
I
Guardians.
did. The one when 5, right?
5. Yeah, I don't think I played 5.
You didn't miss much.
But there is a rumor that dropped regarding Halo Infinite, which is, the Xbox's like big title or whatever, that it's going to be like open world first person shooter, but it's all pre-rendered like on the disc. And like imagine the multiplayer maps, like that kind of level of detail, but the entire world. And that seems kind of fascinating to me. I like my open world games, and the idea of a first person shooter jumping to that, I'm kind of curious, especially because Microsoft's not going to let them fuck with Halo. Like they've got to get this right for the Series X. But that seems pretty interesting. I don't know how much it's going to hold up.
Come on, man. You just want Just Cause Halo.
I do. Just constant. I need a button. Kind of like how Vanquish had a button dedicated to smoking. I need a button dedicated for Master Chief just saying, I won't. For everything, no matter what question he's being asked.
Give Master Chief a fucking tether, like an electric tether or some shit. Give him the fucking tether gun from Just Cause. That would be cool.
Oh, God, the last Just Cause was such garbage.
Was it?
At least 3 was amazing. Yeah, 4 was terrible.
Damn. I know 3 was like a sweet spot.
The last rumor I'm going to touch on, Zach, involves a series near and dear to our hearts. It's Battlefield.
Yay!
You know,
will it be finally one that I play longer than like more than 5 times before I drop it completely?
I hope. The rumor right now is that they've been looking to go back to Battlefield 2142. And
that's been a rumor for so long, though.
It would be set in the future, which honestly I'm fine with. I need a break from World War II.
And World War One.
I've had enough World War One with fucking Battlefield 1. Like, that game was very pretty. I had fun with it for a little bit, but it didn't feel like Battlefield to me. So I'm definitely down for a complete tonal shift in the series. What I really want is Bad Company fucking 3, and I'm not going to get it, but, you know, I guess beggars can't be choosers. But they're saying that might not come out until 2022. Like, DICE realizes they kind of fucked up with Battlefield 5, and I think they're taking their time with this one. Let's see. Did you hear about the Snyder cut of Justice League being put onto HBO Max?
Isn't that freaking... I know people have been heralding for it for a while. But that's... Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool. We'll get to see. I don't remember how much of it was, like, changed. I know as soon as... Joss Whedon?
What about Joss Whedon?
Wait, who took over for Snyder? From Snyder? Not Joss Whedon.
I honestly don't remember because I hated Justice League.
Understandable because it was bad.
I think it was Joss Whedon.
Okay, yeah. I think he took over for it. Yeah, because he was the same one, because he also did Avengers. And they're like, please do Justice League. And there was a shit ton of like reshoots and then Mustache Gate and all that. But I know people have been like wanting the Snyder cut for a while. So I don't know, I'm into it. I'll watch the Snyder cut. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and it works for us because we get HBO Max anyway with Hulu. So maybe we'll do an episode just dedicated around the Zack Snyder cut. We'll call it Zack on Zack. And I guess the last thing I'm going to touch on, it's not really that important. I just thought it was hilarious. J.K. Rowling changing something else about the history of Harry Potter.
Oh, shit. I haven't heard about this. What the fuck happened? What'd she do now?
This, to me,
who is gay or a griffin now?
So, it's none of that.
Okay.
But, so...
Not that there's anything wrong with being a gay griffin.
So, for years, I mean, I guess the entirety of the existence of this series, I don't know if you know this, but there was the general consensus was that she wrote most of this story on, like, napkins in a little cafe, like it was a coffee shop somewhere, I think, in London. And people would go to this coffee shop as sort of like a pilgrimage. You know, nerds would go there and be like, this is where Harry Potter was created. Kind of like how they go to, you know, Platform to... like take their picture with the sign or whatever.
Do their little make a shrine, pray, you know.
Yeah, you know, sacrifice something to the gods.
Sacrifice a house elf.
So people have been going to this cafe for the better part of almost 30 years at this point to just go there and basically exist in it. And J.K. Rowling this week said, yeah, I actually started writing the book at an apartment above this Indian food place. So, like, it's just a picture of this nondescript little flat above, I think now it's like a sports store or something. And all I can imagine are two scenarios. One, people that paid thousands of dollars to go to London, to go to this cafe, to be where Harry Potter was created, only to have that dream dashed by a woman that can't seem to leave well enough alone. And then the second thing is, people living in this flat are just like, fuck. They're going to jack the rent up on us now.
Yeah. Jeez.
Oh, God. I love Harry Potter, but why can't this woman shut the fuck up?
Doesn't belong to her anymore, man. Belongs to us.
It does. It doesn't belong to you anymore. I don't care how much you love Harry Potter. It belongs to us.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Please write a novelization of Cursed Child. I don't want to read a book that is nothing but, like, play script text.
Yeah.
God, I hated that shit. Anyway, it's enough ranting about this shit. It's been nearly an hour. We should probably talk about the movie that we watched,
Hot dog.
which was Knives Out.
Yep.
Knives Out, a movie by Rian Johnson, the man of eponymous Last Jedi fame.
Oh.
But I prefer to know him from his movie named Brick. It's one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh, that's right. Man, I couldn't get into that movie. I tried so hard.
Got so far, but in the end, the movie didn't matter. He also did a movie called Looper with Bruce Willis, and also
did like Looper a lot, though.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Mm-hmm. That's I really liked. I'm a sucker for time travel, so I like that.
Yep, me too.
So yeah, Knives Out. Best way to describe this movie: it's a fucking modern detective story. That's all it is. It is a closed room. Well, not closed room. It is a semi-closed room murder mystery.
A lot of Clue vibes here and there.
Yeah, that is the way I describe it to everybody. It is a modern day Clue.
Mm-hmm.
And that is almost as high praise I can give a film.
Yeah, it was.
I love Clue.
It was so good.
Yeah, we did we see this? We saw this in theaters, right?
I believe so. Wait.
Knives Out?
Yes,
yeah.
We made it.
We saw, I think that was the last movie we saw right before Corona kind of came and ruined everything. And I loved every single minute of this film from beginning to end. I'm a sucker for detective stories.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's kind of easy to see where this one was going, it's like at some point you pick up enough of the plot, you're like, okay, I kind of see where this is going. It doesn't change the fact that all of the acting was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name. Michael. He played the son who like ran the book business. Oh shit!
Michael Shannon.
Empire. Yeah, Michael Shannon. Always amazing. That man could read the newspaper, and it would be great. Don Johnson, who has been in both Watchmen and now this, just seems to be popping up in every new thing that I like, was really great in it. Jamie Lee Curtis, phenomenal as always. Ana de Armas, she played the main character. I forgot her name. Marta, that's right. She was great in this. It's funny because I had bought Blade Runner 2042 or whatever, or 2039, the sequel to it, and she's one of the main characters in that, and she was great in it. And then we saw this. It's like, oh, okay, so she's popping up in everything I like now. Yeah, just I don't really know what else to say about this movie other than out of all the movies we've watched so far, it's probably my favorite.
It's really fucking good. I knew next to nothing about it when I went into it, and I was like really happy with it.
Yeah, it's so Rian Johnson wanted to do this movie. I think he finished it or was finishing editing it just while he was working on Last Jedi. And I know Last Jedi came out and it got a bunch of shit, and he was worried it was going to influence like the reception toward Knives Out like down the line. And it was, I think it's one of Lionsgate, one of their highest grossing films of the year. And they already confirmed there's going to be a sequel, but it's going to be a completely different story, but with Daniel Craig, who was also fucking amazing as the detective. So if the writing remains as good, I'm perfectly fine with this becoming like an Inspector Poirot series with Daniel Craig being a detective solving mysteries.
Yeah, I was not expecting the accent.
It's so good.
Yeah, I was not expecting the foghorn leghorn.
I do declare, madam. Now, if we could just sit here for a moment. I don't know the name of the guy that played the author, like the one who died.
But let's see, Christopher Plummer.
Oh, okay, yeah. I really enjoyed him in this movie. Like, I don't think there was one bad performance in this entire
really
film.
Wasn't.
So, a quick summary of the story is Ana de Armas plays Barda. She was the live-in nurse for what was Christopher Plummer's character name? I'm blanking on it right now.
Let's see. Harlan Thrombey.
Harlan. Yeah. So Harlan Thornby, world famous like murder mystery writer. She was basically his live-in nurse, and the whole movie centers around the fact that he was air quote murdered, and Daniel Craig plays this detective who got an anonymous letter, was sent to try and solve the mystery of who killed him and what happened, and the whole movie plays out from there. There are classic whodunit noir twists and turns. Evidence pops up at like convenient moments. It is like watching a very well done episode of like murder mystery TV with much better production value and acting. Like Zach said, it's like Clue. If you were a fan of the Tim Curry Clue from the 80s, I see no reason why you wouldn't like this. None at all. I would even give this like, I would probably put this at 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
I think it deserves all the praise.
Yeah, I can't wait for the sequel. I will be seeing that the day it comes out, assuming that Corona has been cured and I'm allowed to go to the movies again. Especially since Tenet's coming out in like 2 months, and I've been waiting 2 years for that movie, and I really want to see it in theaters.
I only recently like heard that movie existed, but hey, maybe it'll go straight to
it won't.
Thing.
It won't. Christopher Nolan will not let that happen. That man loves movie theaters way too much. I'm pretty sure that in the contract somewhere it says that they can't do that.
Damn.
Because for some reason Christopher Nolan has like the most specific movie contracts in history, like with the way he's allowed to produce things. I don't get it. But anyway, back to Knives Out. Yeah, Zach and I both agree 9 out of 10. I wish I could talk more about it, but I don't really want to give away the story.
Yeah, like the story and the mystery is the movie, so it's kind of hard to like. It's hard to really go into that without spoiling something. And yeah.
Normally I'm all for spoilers, but I like this movie so much that if anybody ever listens to this, I hope you actually watch the movie or have seen it. Because if you've seen it, you understand why we didn't want to spoil it. But on that note, we are pushing an hour on this, and I'm a little curious to see what movie Zach picked, because he said I wasn't going to like it. He's not even sure if he's going to like it.
Alright. I've got two choices.
Two
choices here. Do you want...
Hashtag freedom.
Would you prefer the blind pick that I kind of not so randomly, just like I looked at the synopsis and I'm like, oh, okay, I have never heard of this, and yeah, it sounds like something I would watch. And it's got a decent rating too. Would you rather have the random wild card pick, or do you want the thing that I know we're probably not going to like, but might be fun to make fun of?
Oh my god, I'm so tempted to go wild card, bitches, but I like bad movies that we can make fun of. Oh, this is so tough. I'm going to think about this for a minute, and while I think about this, hey Mari, what did you think of Knives Out?
It was the best.
Cool. All right, so
cool.
That's Mari's review of Knives Out. God damn it! All right.
You want elaboration?
Should I take Zach's wild card movie option or the movie that we can easily make fun of? Well, hold on. Neither of these you've seen, right?
I've not seen either one of these.
Both of them are unseen by Zach, and I don't know if I've seen them.
When he says make fun of, does he mean like the rage you had for Punch Drunk?
Yeah. Okay. So, like, do you think it's gonna make me as angry as Punch Drunk Love?
Well. It depends on if you are.
Is it Punch Drunk Love, Zach? It is going to make me watch it again.
Funnily enough, it's Punch Drunk. No, it is
Punch Drunk Love too.
It is based on a thing that I don't know if you've actually watched or not. It is
based on a thing. Okay,
it's an adaptation. Right. It's one of them. The not the wild card, but the one I know is probably going to suck is an adaptation of something, and I don't know if you've seen the original, and I haven't either. And so.
That's the one you think that we could easily make fun of?
Yes.
So the one he said that we could easily make fun of, he says it's an adaptation of something.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Is it Flying Ryan?
It's not Flying Ryan. Oh, I didn't tell him about Flying Ryan. Oh, man. Zach, I have a movie we have to watch.
Oh, is it Flying Ryan?
Yeah, we're going to have to go off the grid with our movie selections for some of these. But let's see. I think I'm going to go with... You know what? Let's go with the wild card.
Hey, we could always watch both. Why not?
We could do both. We could mix it up.
One I know is easily accessible to you, so.
It's up to you guys.
if we did both movies, that would give me 2 options to pick from. We'd be skewing the formula a little bit.
God knows I have enough time to watch both. So,
do you think we should do both or just stick to one? Like stick to the formula.
Tell you what. You pick.
If you get to the other one, great.
Nah, I'm not gonna do
that.
But anyway.
Pick the one.
I don't think.
Tell you what.
In the amount of time you guys have,
I'll let you pick the one that you want, and then we could still watch both. But whatever the one you pick first is the one you have to leapfrog from. So there you go. Everybody
the downside of this is if I don't pick the bad one, if I know it's bad, I don't feel obligated to watch it.
That's fair. And you may have seen this. I don't know.
Fuck.
The anticipation is palpable.
That's right. YouTube just demonetized the hell out of this video. Screw it. Yeah, wild card. Let's go with the wild card.
All right, the wild card pick.
Wild card, bitches!
The wild card pick is leapfrogging off of Michael Shannon. And it is a movie from 2014 called 99 Homes.
99 Homes with Michael Shannon. I have no idea what that is, but I love Michael Shannon.
I saw it randomly on IMDb when I was just like looking at the cast for Knives Out, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I like a thriller or something. So sounds like it might be good. It's got like a 7.1, pretty good.
Okay. What's the bad one?
The bad one is Death Note live action.
Oh my god, the live action Death Note. Oh, man.
Do you like anime?
Oh, I love anime.
Did you ever see the original Death Note? Because I never did.
The series or the movie?
The original, the anime.
I watched most of it.
Oh, that's more than I've watched. I think I've seen like an episode at best.
I remember starting it years ago, and I was like, this is okay. I didn't quite get the obsession with it, but I didn't dislike it, and then I never finished it.
Well, this is the live-action American Netflix original Death Note.
I'll tell you what, screw it. We'll watch both of them.
We'll watch both of them? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know and I think we might have to rent 99 Homes. I know it's rentable, but I don't know if it's...
we'll figure it out. I mean, I had to pay for Punch Drunk Love. That's money I'm never getting back. So...
Is it Punch Drunk Love? Remind me, is that not the same director as There Will Be Blood?
Yes.
Damn.
I specifically mentioned that in the review. I don't understand how the same mind that came up with There Will Be Blood came up with Punch Drunk Love. I don't get it. The same mind that came up with what's the other one that I like that we saw where he played the clothing designer? I'm blanking on the name of it.
Thread something.
Phantom Thread. Like, didn't like it as much as I did like There Will Be Blood, which is probably in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. But once again, same mind that came up with Phantom Thread also came up with that pile of shit. I don't know. I really don't want to go into another rant about Punch Drunk Love. So for now, our next movie is going to be 99 Homes with a little asterisk at the bottom for Death Note, the live action movie. So, actually, I have an idea. You know what we'll do? I'll pick a movie based on 99 Homes, but I'm going to make you watch Flying Ryan.
Shit. I don't even know what it is. I know I'm going to hate it.
Oh, you're going to love it, Zach. It's about Heelys.
Oh, no. Is it is it at least a cool kind of like Turbo Kid kind of thing?
I'm not telling you a goddamn thing about this movie, Zach. You're just going to watch it.
There's Ryan, and there might be
flying. There's definitely flying. But on that note, we're going to end this episode. Zach, do your thing.
Goodbye, and don't forget to write.
Mari, do your thing. Bye. Nintendo, please patch some quality of life improvements into Animal Crossing, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye.